Welcome back for another Field Tested Friday, and today we're going to be talking about my waders that I use. But before we get into that, I want to show you guys a little project that I've been working on. This is something that I was going to film, but I never did because I didn't really know what I was doing and I didn't want to do it wrong and then show you guys how to do it wrong. So we'll see how this turns out. But I finally went around to mounting my two turkeys. So this one was my first turkey, which I took last year. And it was a Jake, and then over here we've got my turkey from this year. So got them sitting in the borax here. I don't know if they even need to be inside or if in the garage out here is okay, but there's this year's bird, there's last year's bird, little Jake, but they ate up the same, and it's gonna be kind of cool to have these on the wall. And so first turkey, and then my first tom, so 2019, 2020. I need to actually get one of those like little wood things that'll hold that on the wall for me and get it all finalized. So I'll be sure to show you guys that once that's done. But over the weekend, I had another project which I touched on in the truck video, but here you go. I'll show you guys this. I was a busy bee this weekend, and I actually painted the shed. And it looks a lot better than it did previously. So we got it matching the house with the gray and the white, and I still need to put the ladder rack back up on this side so I can keep my ladder out of the yard, but man, it looks good. But overall, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Got all the wood rot taken off, got it all sealed up and watertight, and it looks really good. So happy I got that done. But let's go ahead and talk about some waders. These are my ROGERS Tough Man 2-in-1 waders. They're an insulated, breathable wader, and I have used them for 2 seasons now and absolutely love them. So, if you guys are looking for new waders, now is the time to do it, especially ROGERS waders. Here's why. I got this in the mail yesterday, so I want to show you guys. This is their flyer, and these are the waders they're offering. I will leave a link to their flyer and their website in the description, but I mean, you can get these waders for $269, and they've even got the working man insulated breathables, which they're a lot like these ones, but they're a tougher protective material on the legs, and you can't take the insulation out. Those ones are $219. So tons of different wader options over at ROGERS, and then of course you got all your decoys and even all kinds of, like, this is like, how many pages is this catalog? 35 pages of nothing but waterfowl stuff, looking for ammo. That was a good time for that. I talked about that in a different video. But waders, that's what we're talking about. That's why I pulled out the flyer. So I want to give you guys a quick overview of these things. These are really hard to get in camera, so please bear with me. But they have adjustable bungee kind of stretchy straps for the shoulders. They have unique clips. Now, they go in that hole like this, and you pull up, and they're locked in place. Each side has a different one, so the other one, it's this side on the strap. So you can't cross them over, and you always know which side goes where. On the sides, you have cinches, and so you can cinch down the tops of the waders up under your armpit, so it's a little less bulky. And then it's also got a little bungee on the inside front, so then you can cinch it down some more. Just below that bungee is a little clear plastic, waterproof, water resistant case, so you can put your phone in there, whip it out, send a quick text message, put it back in there. And then you don't end up like me, having to find your phone in the marsh because you've dropped it. That's happened 3 times now, so don't be like me. On the front here, we have one zipper pocket, and it's fleece lined. You can put whatever you want to do in there. I usually keep a thing of hand warmers in there and then pull it out whenever I need it, so I know they're always in there. Stays zipped, doesn't fall out. And then we have a kangaroo pocket. It's fleece lined, pretty comfortable. Not the warmest thing in the world, but I use a different hand warmer. I've got it in here somewhere, a little hand muff thing to keep my hands warm when it gets super cold out, but this will do the job for most of the time. And then of course we've got our shotgun shell holders, and you can keep your shells in there nice and handy. Comes with a wader belt, and then moving down the legs here, on kind of like right below the knee, just before the boot, is kind of like a Carhartt material protectant for the outside. So this is where most of the wear and tear happens on your waders. So if you're going to poke into something, it's going to poke into this. So this will help minimize the risk of getting a rip or a poke through your waders from things like sticks and thorns. So that's a nice addition there. And then here's the boots. We've got 1,200 grams of thin insulation in these bad boys. They keep me nice and toasty. But if you're somebody who gets cold feet really easily, I recommend looking at waders with 1,600 grams. But for me, I don't get cold feet really easily. It's usually my hands that get cold. The 1200s do just fine. The reason why these are the 2-in-1s is because on the inside of them, they have this nice, soft, quilted Permaloft insulation. So they're 2-in-1s because there's a zipper. So you can zip out the insulation and have no insulation inside your waders. So that is perfect come teal season, or even throughout the early season of duck season, like in October when it's not super cold out, you're not sweating really bad. September is really nice. The difference between neoprene and breathables and which one I like better. I've talked about this multiple times in lots of different videos and podcasts that I've been on. Breathables are far superior to neoprene because you are more comfortable, you're able to move a lot easier, you're able to layer up under them a lot easier, and they're just as tough, if not tougher, than the neoprenes. So I like the breathables because they're more comfortable and they're easier to walk in and you can move a lot easier. The list goes on and on. So if you're looking for a new pair of waders, I want to strongly recommend you check out breathable waders instead of neoprene. I know that neoprene is like the standard and like everybody uses neoprene waders and it's been the standard for a really long time, but these new breathable waders, I'm telling you, they are the way to go anymore because you're going to be more comfortable. And everybody who tries on breathables after wearing neoprene says, wow, I love hunting in these things. So I haven't had any issues with any seams in these like I did with neoprene waders that I've had, and they're tough. They're just as tough, if not tougher, than the neoprenes. But that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it how it is. I do a lot of hunting. I do a lot of different things in my waders, and these have held up to everything that I've put them up to the test for. Now, the most important part of your waders, right here, your boots. Like I said earlier, these have 1,200 grams of thin insulation. So, what that means is, you know, your waders usually range from no insulation in the boots up to 1,600 grams of insulate. So, these are kind of on the upper end of insulation, and they keep my feet toasty warm. And I hunted in boots with 800, 1,200, and 16. I think 12 for me is like the perfect kind of meeting in the middle kind of deal because I can wear these in teal season and my feet don't sweat as bad as they did in the 16s, but come late season my feet aren't as cold as they were in the 800s. So you can always wear thick socks, keep your feet toasty warm. These do the job for me. Now, these are a size 10, and I usually wear my shoes and boots between a size 10 and size 11. So these boots run big, and they're big enough now to where if I wear thick socks, I still have some wiggle room, which is what I personally like. Because in your waders, you don't want your toe box to be cramped because you're walking through thick mud and through the water and all that stuff. You want to have a little bit of wiggle room in your boots. Also, if you don't have a lot of wiggle room in your boots, think of it as like if your boot's tight and it's constricting your foot, it's kind of squishing the capillaries, which is your blood vessels, in your feet and making it harder for that blood flow to go through, making your feet cold. So you want to have a little bit of wiggle room because it'll help your feet keep warm, your feet will be more comfortable, and when you're done with your hunt, it's a lot easier to get out of your waders. So all in all, what do I think of these ROGERS 2-in-1s? They are awesome, and I really am happy that I went with the 2-in-1s when I got them, and they haven't let me down yet. I think they're a perfect wader option for anybody who duck hunts, especially you guys who watch the channel, because like I know that there's duck hunters who go out like 4 times in a season, and I know there's duck hunters who go out like 60 days of the season. So I'm one of the duck hunters that goes out a lot during the season, and you know, most of the time I'm wearing my waders, and these things held up great. So they're made out of really quality material. They've held up to everything I put at them, and I haven't had a single leak or a tear or anything like that. So they're awesome. And on top of that, they're really comfortable and they're really warm. And I want to encourage you guys to go check them out. And like I said, I will leave a link to them in the description, and you guys can go check them out on the ROGERS website. Keep in mind, waders are a very important piece of hunting equipment. They are your shield from freezing cold water. And they're also going to be your shield from cold outside. Like, they are your outerwear on your legs and your chest. So buy something warm, buy something comfortable. You don't want to be miserable when you're out in the field, because then your hunting experience won't be as good as it should be, because you don't want your hunt ruined by some cheap, crappy waders. So 2-in-1s, they're kind of middle of the road. They're a good price point and they're a good wader. I recommend them. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to do that. Hunting season's coming and I'm super pumped, and I can't wait to get out in the field, do some hunting, and finally get back in the groove. I've been wanting to do that for a very long time. If you guys haven't hit the like button, make sure to do that as well. It really helps out, and I appreciate it when you guys help these videos do better just by hitting that like button. So please be sure to do that. If you guys don't follow me on my social media, I've got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. So follow me on there and stay up to date with what's going on. But that's all I've got for today's Field Test Friday, and I will catch you on the next video.